I recently went down a rabbit hole looking for the perfect piece of luggage. I wanted the holy grail of travel gear, something that weighs almost nothing but holds everything I need. Like most of us, I want to travel light. I want to breeze through the airport unencumbered. But once I get to my destination, if the weather turns and I don't have my rain jacket or my sweater, I begin to wish that I hadn't packed so light after all. You're listening to Torah in 7, a podcast where we explore one idea in the weekly Torah reading in 7 minutes. I'm Bela Olidort. We often think of holiness as a shedding of the physical, a traveling light of the soul where we leave the material world behind to fly higher. We imagine the high priest as someone floating through the sanctuary in a simple white tunic. But Parshat Tezaveh has a very different idea about that. It has Aaron, the high priest, layered in clothing for his service. It is a wardrobe so complex it makes a royal coronation look like Casual Friday. There's gold, blue, purple, and scarlet wool, a robe fringed with golden bells, a breastplate of precious stones, and a plate on his forehead. The centerpiece of this wardrobe is the choshen and the ephod. The ephod is a regal gold-woven apron, and the choshen is a breastplate worn over the heart, inlaid with 12 different gemstones. It's held up by 2 shoulder straps, and on those straps sit 2 onyx stones, each engraved with the names of the tribes of Israel. The Torah calls these avnei zikaron, stones of remembrance. Now think about this. Aaron doesn't just carry the people of Israel in mind. He carries them on his shoulders and over his heart, so that as he moves toward the divine, he takes them with him. He carries their weight as he moves through his service. This made me think about how observant Jews travel. As a rule, they usually don't travel light. If you've ever seen a Jewish family at an airport, you know what I mean. We aren't just carrying a change of clothes. We've got the talit and the tefillin, the Shabbat candles, more if you're a Lubavitcher to share with others. And back before there was a Chabad house on every corner, you packed half a kosher deli just to survive a weekend away. On the surface, all this baggage looks a bit ridiculous. But it's actually a theology in motion. When a Jew travels, they aren't just a tourist. They are a mobile ecosystem of identity. We carry the weight of our ancestors, our history, and our obligations with us wherever we go. Which is why the idea of being unbound, the one that tells us that we should shed all this baggage, feels so profoundly un-Jewish. We live in a culture that urges us to lose our attachments, to treat family, tradition, and history as unnecessary burdens, things we can discard in the name of freedom. It makes a seductive promise. Just hit delete on obligation and inheritance, and you'll finally be free to be yourself. But Parshat Tezaveh offers a very different wisdom. It's telling us that the weight on Aaron isn't a problem, it's the point. He can stand before God because of what he brings with him. He isn't just performing a ritual, he is securing atonement for a nation. And that burden that he carries with him is his leverage. It's what allows him to leave his mark and win the forgiveness that the people need. The novelist Milan Kundera built a whole book around this idea. He called it the unbearable lightness of being. Unbearable, I think, because he argues that when we drop our burdens, when we aren't beholden to anyone and our choices have no weight, we become ghost-like, moving through the world without leaving a footprint. If you have no weight, you have no friction, and without friction, you can't leave a mark. Kundera writes that the heavier the burden, the closer our lives come to the earth, the more real and truthful they become. That sentence could have been written as a commentary on the stones that Aaron carries into the sanctuary. If modern spirituality tells us to meditate until we dissolve our ego and float free of our particular identities, Parshat Tezaveh warns that this kind of transcendence is a trap, that if you become so spiritual that you forget your specific obligations, your grandmother's maiden name, the needs of your parents, the debt of your history, you haven't reached holiness, you've just reached anesthesia. If I walk away from every obligation, every stone on my shoulders, I might move faster, I might feel lighter. But I'd arrive at the Holy of Holies, the sacred moments of my life, without leverage. I might be having a private spiritual moment, but I'd be useless to the person standing next to me. These attachments, family, tradition, community, and shared history, are the gravity that keeps us tethered to moral reality. They are the stones Aaron carries on his shoulders. And aren't we, the Jewish people, each one of us a priest? Remember when in Parshat Yisro, before God gives us the Torah, he gives us our mission statement? V'atem tiyu li mamlechet kohanim v'goy kadosh. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. To be a priest is to carry the names of the people who depend on us, even the ones who test our patience. To be a priest is to carry the traditions we didn't choose and the history we can't escape. That weight is what gives us mass. It seems we aren't meant to be a nation of unburdened travelers after all. We're meant to be a kingdom of priests, a people who define freedom not by how much we can cast off, but by how much we are willing to carry for one another. I'm still searching for lightweight luggage, but it has to have the right strength to weight ratio, because I don't want to be free of my baggage. I want to be strong enough to carry it with grace, with dignity, with purpose. That's one takeaway from Parshat Tezaveh. If this was meaningful to you, please subscribe, share, and comment. And if you'd like to sponsor a podcast, please email me at editor@lubavitch.com. Shabbat Shalom.